Hello, I'm Awkward, a former professional Overwatch player, hit rank 1 many times. I've managed to get to 1 above all with less than 35 hours of playtime in Marvel Rivals. I'm the creator of the Mantis guide that helped thousands, if not tens of thousands of people, and I'm here to teach you how to play Black Panther. So today I'm going to show you exactly how to play Black Panther in the most simple way possible, and not because I question your intelligence, it's because I think a good teacher can explain to a 5-year-old a very advanced concept. So, Black Panther is quite a hard character mechanically, and a lot of people think you need to have great mechanics to pull it off, but I'm here to tell you that it's not the truth. Now, mechanics will help you, however, it's not what is holding you back. So let's just talk about the abilities real quick. Black Panther has a spear. Spear does damage in area of effect, as you saw it was circular, but most importantly, it puts this white mark above people's head, above the enemy's head specifically. Marked enemies means that if you use your second ability, which is dash, on them, you will get a dash reset. Notice that when I hit the marked enemies, my dash is back right after I dash, but if the person is not marked, I'll dash, and my dash won't be back. And that is quite important, I'll explain in a few seconds, but let me talk about the third ability, which is the spinning kick. You can look to a direction, and the kick goes the direction you look at, which is very helpful to also disengage or just go around corners, just not one direction. So for example, if you want to go around the corner, you can just kick, and all of a sudden you're around the corner. This also, by the way, puts the mark above the enemies. Let me just show you quickly. Both characters are marked, which means if I dash, I'll have it again. So the combo is pretty straightforward. What you do is you spear, you dash, now you have your dash again. You spear again, you dash, now you have a dash again. If you want to continue fighting, you kick, you dash again, and that should usually yield up to a kill. Now, if you have your ultimate, you can use it as a dash reset and also mark enemies. So you spear dash, kick dash, now you have your ultimate, you have your dash back, now it doesn't show, but you get your dash back, which marks them, and you can dash again, and either continue dashing in to clean up the kill, but that's already an overkill. If you use the entire combo, the enemy team should usually be dead, especially when you have follow-up. Even if you don't have follow-up, you will get the kills even without your ultimates. Now, if you don't have the ultimate, it's pretty straightforward. Spear dash, kick, dash, I'm out. If they continue chasing, you can use your dash again to disengage. Another thing you can do if you don't get a kill from the combo is to save your kick as disengage ability, as it's fairly reliable. Dash is also reliable, but sometimes you want to use the kick, as it can turn around corners. So you can do spear dash, dash, you don't have the dash, so you just kick out of the way, and then you just continue to a wall climb and double jump and run away. Let me teach you a quick combo that nobody does, that eliminates 250 HP characters. It's not the most reliable, and you want to use it very occasionally, but it does work. So let's say you're fighting a raccoon that has 250 HP. What you can do, double spear, dash, and you get a kill. Now this requires a decent amount of mechanics if you want to do it fast, and the reason why I want to do it fast because you don't want to give them the opportunity to actually heal themselves. But let's say we do it slow. He's dead. But as I said, you should do it only occasionally, as usually they'll get healed and it won't be enough because it can't kill a 300 HP character. That's the basic premise of how to play Black Panther. You obviously want to utilize your wall climb to engage safely. So for example, instead of running to the enemies where they pay attention to you, you want to wall climb to their blind spots and then do your combo. Now I'll show you some examples from my own gameplay of how I managed to climb, which I would say is really good Black Panther gameplay, or at least solid fundamentally. It might not seem flashy, but it gets the wins. What most people don't understand about Black Panther is when you should engage, the timing of the engagement, when you should disengage and not be greedy, and also the setup phase, which I'll explain quickly. The first thing, let's talk about how or where you should engage from. You should always engage from the off angle of the enemies. What are the off angles to you as a Black Panther? Is basically places where the enemies can see you. That means that if you see the enemies here in red are shooting towards my team that are sitting right over here. Obviously, I can't run over here with Black Panther and go for them because they're going to see me. Even if I manage to close distance and pull off my combo, just because they see me coming, there are two things that will happen. Number one, they will shoot me. and I might die in the process. Or number two, they might be able to mitigate the damage because they are prepared for it. So Magneto could shield, or Mantis could sleep, or whatever it may be, any ability to mitigate. So they always engage from a blind spot, and that's why you see me walk over here. While the enemies are busy looking at my Magneto, I can show up from the side and possibly get a kill. Now, that also goes hand in hand of what is the timing of the engagement, and the number one mistake that I see that Black Panther players make is they simply engage way too early. So, if the enemies are busy with your team and they're using their abilities and their damage and they're all focused on your tanks or your DPS or even the supports, you're much more likely to be successful with your engagement. Because of the off-angle rule. When the enemies make contact with your team and they're busy, that's exactly where you want to strike. Why? They're not looking. Much more likely to get a kill. Much less likely for the damage to be mitigated. And number two, they might have used abilities and they can't protect themselves against you. Ideally, what a good Black Panther would do here is maybe show up from the side because they make contact. Maybe go for the Mantis. Maybe go for whoever is killable here. Now, let me quickly show you an example of what is a good timing of engagement with Black Panther, how you should execute it from an off angle. And that's basically, in short, even if you're an Eternity player, you'll be able to consistently get kills like that. And even if you don't get kills like that, because the higher rank you are, the faster the enemies will react. So they'll be able to react faster with their abilities, and they won't necessarily die. But even if the enemies don't die, they waste so much resources that your team can capitalize on, and you can capitalize after your cooldowns are back, which are very, very short. You know, it will take you approximately 10 seconds to be able to re-engage again, which is not that long. So, the enemies are quite busy with my team. The team fight is kind of over. However, I see a good opportunity to engage here, and especially I know I can leave from here or any other place. So I noticed, look, nobody's paying attention because the enemies a second ago were busy with my team. Now, I would say that it's not the perfect time to engage, but I'd like to show you the concept of off-angling. The reason why it's not a good time to engage is because two of my teammates are dead. The team fight was already kind of over. He doesn't pay attention. I go for the combo. That was a pretty fast dash. And that, by the way, a big mistake that a lot of Black Panther players make. They watch some good Black Panther on YouTube. They watch the highlight video and they're like doing these crazy 180s and hitting all of their shots and clicking their dash. Yeah, it looks cool and occasionally happens. However, I'm sorry to say that if you're like a diamond player, you won't be able to do it consistently because Eternity players can't even do it consistently, or one above all players can't do it consistently. So here I kind of messed up with my dash, so I kind of went for the ulti, I went for the combo, and it worked. I managed to catch two people off guard because they weren't paying attention. They probably burned their cooldowns on my teammates, and I just went with the combo. Worst case scenario, I could run away, but because I had my ultimates, I was very confident I could get a kill. But notice how fast I try to get the dash in. I do it, I mess up the dash, and now I don't have a dash, just in case maybe if I would die, I don't have a dash out. So I could have done it just slightly bit slower and made sure my dash hits on the marked enemy and get a reset. And I use my wall run to disengage for a second to get my cooldowns back. And that's kind of part of the cycles, is that a lot of low elo players, and usually to me low elo means people make basic mistakes even in Grandmaster and Eternity, is that they think that they are like some kamikaze fighter and they're supposed to go in and trade their life for a kill. No, you do your combo, whether it works or it doesn't work, you disengage, wait for your cooldowns to be back, and do it again. You always want to engage quickly, get out, wait for cooldowns to be back, go in again. Unless you're clearly winning the team fight, you can just hit your melee attacks. See? Luna is not paying attention. Luna is not paying attention whatsoever. She got surprised in the middle of the fight. She had no cooldowns, no frames. I could go to the kill. Now it's Magneto with low HP. I just go with the melee. That was the perfect execution of timing, off angles, and just cycling the cooldowns, except the fact that I didn't utilize my dash to the best of my abilities. Notice that again, my team is going from the right. And what do? I go from the left. Why? Because it's an off angle. The enemies are facing this way. They're busy with my teammates. And then I can kind of engage cleanly. Let's see what happens. Here, you see, I'm patient with the dash. I'm patient with the dash. I was slow to make sure it precisely hits. Now, I missed some spears, but my damage was good enough to get a kill. Now here, I don't get my dash reset, but I don't need it. We're 6 against 3 or 6 against 2. I see a low HP Luna. Let me just dash in because I know that I'm not going to die. The whole purpose of needing the dash reset is you will have an ability to disengage with. Here, I didn't need to disengage, I simply just dashed and cleaned up the kill. Here, notice, my team is coming from the left. I'm already setting up off-angling from the right. I'm waiting for my team to make contact, and then I'll go in from the blind spots of my enemies. Starler is going in. They're all paying attention to him, which means the angle here is free. What is the timing? Exactly as they make contact my team, the enemies are busy. The enemies may be using abilities from the off angle. Well, again, so they can't see me. So as soon as they make contact from a blind spot, which is what we call an off angle, and I try to execute the combo. Slowly but surely, I'm not trying to be too fast. The reason why I do this slowly is so my combo is not going to be destroyed and I possibly die without my abilities, and I'll stand in open space and die. Going from a blind spot. Perfect. Got kill, wait for their cooldowns. I ended up dying to an ulti, but regardless, my engagement was smooth. I got 2 kills, possibly for some cooldowns. This, most of the time, even if I died, should be more than enough to be able to win the team fight, which, as you can see, my team ended up cleaning the enemies. Another very important point, because you're a melee hero and you can't really fight people long range, natural cover is your best friend. What is natural cover? A wall, the payload, a trash can, sometimes even shields, a chest, a lamp, a tree, whatever it may be. Let's say you are here, for example. This is what we will call an open space. I'm here in open space. I have no cover. But instead, if I were here and somebody would shoot me, I can go behind this natural cover and they cannot shoot me anymore. The reason why this is good is that's how you essentially close distance without taking damage. So let's say instead of running, let me show you a quick example. If you are here and you want to go there, of course you don't want to be running in a straight line like this, because you being in open space entails you getting shot if they're actually looking at you. So what you do, instead of running like this, you'll walk around here, where you have this giant statue blocking the vision, where you have these little things blocking the vision. And you can walk through like this, you can utilize your wall climb or wall run, and then you can engage from here without taking any damage. That's how you close distance to the enemies as the melee hero. That's not a Black Panther thing, but we're talking about Black Panther here. It's any melee hero. Check out how I'm using natural cover. I see that the Luna is using her ultimate, so there's no point to engage because everybody's just going to heal up. So I'm saving my cooldowns. I'm sitting on an off angle, relatively close to the enemies, behind cover. How is this behind cover? You're asking, aren't you in open space? Well, the high ground, when the enemies are on the low ground, is cover because they can't really see me. Look, the Magneto is kind of trying to shoot me, but he's not able to because he's sitting here and he can't really see me. So I'm just waiting out the ultimate and I'm probably going to engage here. But notice, try to do it slowly with a dash. The second dash I didn't expect to get a kill, so I missed. Regardless, pretty good. I'm going for the marked enemy, and I'm keeping the marks on. Always trying to keep the marks on. Fantastic engagement timing from the off angle, wait out the ultimate, wait it out until Mathis is alone, try to perform the combo to the best of my abilities to make sure it hits. Yes, you'll miss sometimes, not a big deal, just disengage and come back later once you have your abilities. It's not worth you dying. As I said, you don't want to die even for a kill or even for 2 kills. It's not worth. When you are the carry, which you should treat yourself as because you're the only common denominator of your matches. You can only have 5 bad players on your team. The enemy can have 6. Now we're gonna watch another replay and I'm going to give you a quick recap of how you should play Black Panther in short in the most simple way possible, and we're gonna show you examples from my own gameplay at Eternity lobbies or high GM lobbies, whatever it may be. Number 1, you want to always be engaging from an off angle. Number 2, when should you strike? When the enemies make contact with your team. That means you have to set up in advance to be ready to attack once the enemies make contact with your team. Okay, ideally, you can wait out until they use some abilities. Most of the time, they're just gonna, if they know that you're engaged, they're gonna wait for you with the abilities. That wouldn't wait too long because you have to be present in the fight. You have to understand that if you wait too long to engage, your team is essentially fighting 5-on-6, which is not great. Number 3, you execute the combo, spear dash, kick dash, ultimate dash, or if without ultimate, spear dash, kick dash, and if you have to disengage, do another dash, or spear dash, you see it's not going anywhere, just kick yourself out and re-engage later down the line. And if they continue chasing you after the kick, simply have your dash again, that's fine. And the way you cross open spaces when the enemies are looking at you and you close distance to the melee hero is use natural cover, use the environment to go around the environment while trying to close distance as fast as possible, but you go around walls, you go around anything that you can hide behind and not take damage while you're closing the distance. Or you can just simply wait, especially when you're defending somewhere, especially after you win the fight and the enemies have to re-engage the point. you set up on a high ground or just continuously just run up a wall and you attack from above once they engage. So you'll see examples of that. So my team TP'd, I didn't take TP with them. Why? So I could off-link. You'll notice how not a single person is looking at me. The enemies are clearly busy with my teammates. The fight is right about to start. Everyone is paying attention to my teammates, which means I can strike the support from behind. That is a kill. And usually what that means is the other support is gonna turn around, try to help the enemy support that is getting jumped on by you, and means your teammates can just walk in for free and kill the entire team. Something to bear in mind, because Black Panther is a very fast character, but once you start feeling comfortable, you can actually engage the enemies one time before the fight actually begins, and that helps you build ult charge. The fight was over a second ago, and the enemies are disengaging. The fight is not beginning. They're waiting up to group up, but what do? I decide to attack the enemies to gain some ult charge because I'm very confident with my abilities and I know for a fact they're not going to kill me. So notice I go for the super dashes in and out, but I use one dash to disengage. I started off with 40% ult charge and left with 71. And the reason why I can do this is because you might be asking, didn't you just waste your cooldowns? No, because the enemies are not really making contact with my teammates, so my teammates are not going to die at a time that I'm rebuilding my cooldowns. I can do this one time before the fight and one time the fight. Now, this depends on a lot of things. It's something that you can utilize quite often to build up your ult charge and also apply pressure to the enemies, and sometimes you can even get kills that way. So I would advise you to continuously try to engage one time before the fight, but you have to make sure that your cooldowns are back by the time the fight begins. Again, notice the fight is going on the left, and I'm already setting up on the right side of them. And surprise the Atom here. That's how I get a kill on the Atom. That was great, and I actually got 2 kills because I surprised her from the off angle. But notice that I used my last dash to not only get a kill, but it was mainly to disengage. Me killing the stranger, which is kind of lucky. So I kind of went to the damage for the fight. The only reason why I dashed in is because the Salok was marked. And if I hit the dash, it means that I have another dash and I can just simply run away. Notice I use my kick to disengage. That's it. If I had to, I would use my dash. And again, going to set up, going to wait for the enemies to make contact with my team. And then I engage from the off angle exactly the timing as they make contact. And I utilize my wall run to jump from above from blind spot. And of course, go for the Atom, get a kill, force an ultimate, and simply run away. If they continue chasing me, I would simply dash out. Now, who should you attack as a Black Panther is something very, very important. Number one, most of you think supports. And 90% of the time, you're correct. Why? Because supports have the least amount of ability to protect themselves against you. But what I mean by that is they have the lowest amount of HP. If you try to kill Doctor Strange, you won't be able to kill him even with 2 combos. Other than that, if you go for the supports and you don't get a kill, you take their attention away from their tanks and DPS, and your team can run them over because they don't have heals. And that's why I say, don't die for killing anybody, and don't die trying to engage enemies that hard. Know when to disengage. You failed to get a kill, just disengage. Because the enemies will have to, especially the supports, will have to heal themselves, they have to hide for a second, and they're always going to be worried about you re-engaging. And if you're dead, they don't have to worry about you, so they can do whatever they want. But also, that doesn't mean that you only engage on the supports. If you see a DPS out of position, so let's say I see Namor completely out of position by himself, you can go kill him. If I see a Psylocke that has used their dash out of position, you can kill. You see a half HP Magneto, you can go for the kill. It's not only the supports, it's primarily the supports, but it's not only the supports. If somebody is overextending, just combo them out and find a kill on them. And notice, I didn't die. I just wait out the ulti. And notice, again, I'm closing distance, I re-engage, I utilize cover to close distance, and then I go in again. Messed up the dash, but that's okay. Well, the Magneto put a bubble. I was trying to be a little bit too fast. However, diverted a lot of attention, which helped my Doctor Strange to get a kill. Because the Atom was busy healing someone else. The Luna was looking at the Atom and me. And I diverted the attention away. Even without getting a kill, I got so much value. Because the Strange managed to get a kill because they didn't have healing. And then I just re-engaged later. I use my dash to disengage there. And again, I'm waiting for my cooldowns and I re-engage. There's nothing I can do without my cooldowns. I accidentally killed this guy. I realized it's 95, so I apply a little bit of pressure. But you see, I don't get greedy. I'll just get out. Especially because I don't have my abilities.
Behind you.
We take the point. What do I do immediately? I go set up. I prepare myself before the fight that as soon as the enemies make contact, I can jump on them. Or maybe I can catch somebody lagging behind. So I see this Luna kind of lagging behind, but she's not really lagging behind because Strange is next to her, the other supporter behind her, so I'm not really engaging that. I'm not being greedy, I'm just waiting. I can bait her attention a bit. Again, moving to setup. Team fight begins. I realize I'm a little bit late, so I'm trying to go for it. See this guy lagging behind. I go for the combo. He's dead. I don't have cooldowns. You see how I'm very patient. I don't have cooldowns. I'm going around natural cover. I wall climb. I disengage quickly, and then I'm setting myself up again. I mark the Luna. Now I can go for a dash, and I can see mark people through walls. Went for the kill. I focus the isolated killable targets. I always go from the off angle from the blind spot, and I always engage when the enemies are busy with something else. Again, fight's over. Waiting patiently, not engaging, not doing anything. I'm waiting on the off angle I'm setting up, waiting for them to make contact, and then I'll jump in with my combo. If I mess up my combo, that's okay. I disengage. I try again 2 seconds later. Well, some of you are thinking maybe I could have went for the Luna, and you're correct. However, I saw a good opportunity to maybe get kills on 4 people with my ulti. I went for the combo. I didn't even need to use my ulti because they all died, which worked perfectly fine. And again, what am I doing? Setting up on the off angle. Not too far away though, because I want to be in close proximity to my team that as soon as they make contact, I'm ready to go in. Look, I'm gonna be waiting. Who am I not going for? Strange, it's not gonna die. Who might go for? Well, Jeff, Luna. See what happens. I don't need to engage because it might seem the enemy team is fighting with my team. It's not really just poking from far away. How could they get a kill? What, like a Jeff can kill my Doctor Strange all of a sudden from far away? Not really. I'm setting up. We make contact. Boom. I go in. That was a very random ulti, but it was 97%. I wanted to use it. And that is how you play Black Panther to almost perfection in the most simple way possible. I promise you, if you just execute this and you don't think you're some sort of a YouTuber and a streamer and you try to do everything fast, practice slowly, okay? When you do it slowly, you'll notice that you're able to hit your combos a lot better. And the more you practice slowly, eventually, naturally, you'll start to build up the speed, and eventually you'll be able to do it as fast as your favorite YouTuber or favorite streamer or whatever it may be. Watch this, immediately go log into the game, try to execute it. And it's going to take some time to nail it down. But as soon as you're able to do it even 50% as good as I do, or even 20% as good as I do, you'll see that you're able to completely wreck your meta rank lobbies, and you'll, even in high Grandmaster, you'll be able to carry your games, and even in Eternity. So I wish you guys a great rest of the day, rest of the night, and I would appreciate if you guys subscribe to the channel, and we'll see each other on another guide.